So this big news story today, this string of shootings into cars and homes around Raleigh, did it sound familiar at all to you? A dozen shootings in one area, no one knowing who pulled the trigger. Well, it reminded me and a lot of other people of something similar that happened in Columbus, Ohio in 2003. A man spent months firing at cars, 24 shootings. One person was killed. Commuters avoided major highways out of fear. Nearly a year later, the suspect was arrested. It took all of that time. Does that story ring any bells with any of you? Do you remember it? How about this one from 2002? The Beltway snipers in the Washington, D.C. area. Over the course of a few weeks, 10 people were shot and killed. 3 were critically injured. These people were just going about their day, mowing their lawn, pumping their gas. Some of them were out shopping. One of the victims was a 13-year-old boy at a school. Another was an FBI analyst. We heard from a reporter, a former reporter who was working in D.C. there on this story at the time, and she remembers the fear in the community, people wondering who could be next.
We didn't know when it would happen, where it would happen, how it would happen, if they were targeting particular people. So I would imagine what's going on there in North Carolina is the same thing. You don't know who they're targeting. Is it just random? Is it just from an overpass, from a side roadway, a frontage road? You just don't simply know. And so it's the unknown that's so terrifying.
We know how the stories are similar. Multiple shootings, all connected, the fear that people felt in the community here. But these stories are also very, very different in many ways. For one, nobody, fortunately, was killed here. One woman was shot in the leg. Several cars and homes have bullet holes in them, but no one has died. Another difference, the D.C. shootings were happening all over the area. The string of shootings here in Raleigh all took place on the map here. All those areas around I-40 and I-440 on the southwest side of the city. And this is a little crazy. Those D.C. snipers, they left behind some evidence. They left behind tarot cards at some of their shooting sites. We haven't seen anything cryptic, nothing like this, at least at this point in the investigation, that has been left behind anything here in Raleigh this week. Another important difference, those cases in Ohio and D.C. took weeks and weeks, even months to wrap up. Today in Raleigh, it took police less than a week to detain 2 people in this case. We don't know if either of these people were the ones behind the gun, the people or the person pulling the trigger. WRAL, of course, will remain focused on the details, so you and your family don't have to be afraid to drive somewhere or to take some crazy detour around the interstate. What do you want to know about this case here in Raleigh, though? We are curious. If there's anything, if there's something that you'd like the news to talk about when it comes to these shootings or anything else, please let me know. Send an email to dan@wral.com. Tell us what is on your mind, and we will go in depth.